For me, franchising is certainly growing. What we're finding on the continent, and obviously that's where my sort of scope of influence lies, is looking after the African subsidiaries in India from a business banking point of view. We're finding that franchising is becoming more and more important and prevalent. Not only is it a means of creating employment, but it's a means of entrepreneurs expressing themselves. We find a lot of good value that comes from understanding these markets and allowing or facilitating the transfer of good franchise concepts into our present countries where we are, and also a lot of homegrown businesses that are growing up and are able to get insight into what is a franchise, how do we franchise ourselves. And I think the audience has definitely had a good insight into how we can assist them do that. I think it's very much a mixed approach. Firstly, as FNB and FirstRand, we invest for the long term. We're not the kind of organisation that would follow a commodity boom or bust cycle, for instance. We like to embed ourselves locally and become something for the present and for the future, and certainly build a strong presence. Inside that, I think that's what your mindset should be, is your destination wherever you want to go, be it a Botswana or a Zambia or a Tanzania. And I think it's a tough one. You'll have to try and look through what's currently happening. For instance, Zambia is having a tough time on their currency, the China demand, copper demand, etc. And that can make for some really pessimistic conversations. But what we find in these markets is a growing local demand, driven by consumers. As consumers move up different sort of levels, and they are more able and have the wherewithal to actually start becoming more mainstream in these economies. Now, if you follow those trends, that is this emerging middle class that everybody talks to. We do see some really strong trends around that. So I think that if you're looking for a market, look beyond what's happening today. Look for what's made it exciting at the outset, and then make a decision around that. And then obviously how we assist clients in terms of enabling them to actually land effectively in those countries, and giving them more deeper insight to see what actually happens on the ground in some of these countries. And I think that's also the value that we can bring. But you as an entrepreneur, or you as a franchisor wanting to go into the markets, certainly take a view that will obviously give you your return on investment. Choose the right partners that you're going in with, because often you need local partners. In most instances, you will need a local partner on the ground, and then look to the long-term reasons of why you were going to go in the first place. There's a lot of things that are left unsaid in terms of what we do and how we operate on the continent. In terms of what the analysts would perceive, and often you look from a global or European perspective, and one would always look at the Barclays or the Standard Chartered because they have a global view. But we are very, very strong in some of our key markets. We are the biggest bank in Namibia. We are the biggest bank in Botswana. We are number one or number two, depending on which specific subsegment of the market, in Swaziland. We have a growing presence in Zambia, Mozambique, Lesotho. We've started up banks recently in India, as you've referred to, and that is still in the startup phase, but it's starting to go along very nicely. We've got a bank in Tanzania, and just a few weeks ago we actually opened the doors in Ghana. So I do think that there's a lot that we can tell the market about what our capabilities are, that what we can offer clients looking to expand, and also to grow in those homegrown markets. It's no secret that the group has aspirations to grow a stronger West African presence and a stronger East African presence. That's been out in the press, and you'll obviously look to take your cue from those discussions as to see where we move next.